running their business. So this is being hosted by the Technology Enabling Center of Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, along with Bangalore Chamber of Commerce and MSME Directorates of Bangalore and Thrissur. Just a little bit of the Technology Enabling Center. The Technology Enabling Center was started in 2019 by the support of the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. This is an enabling center which actually brings technologies to life and to fruition, by which I mean it brings university research into commercialization. Therefore, entrepreneurship is a very integral part of this endeavor. So when we thought about starting off a seminar or a webinar, we thought of making entrepreneurship and MSME as a key and focus. So that's basically the brief. And in the course of the next few months, we will be bringing you a series of talks by industry experts and by people who are practitioners to help you understand of what their successes are, their failures are, how have they learned, and how have they excelled themselves. So with that brief, I would request Jayesh and Suchitra from our Technology Enabling Center to do a small lighting of the lamp as a mark of inauguration of this webinar series. Over to you, Suchitra and Jayesh. Thank you. Thank you. So that was a virtual lighting of the lamp, very much the new normal today, which we have gone out those days when the physical lamps were lit. So with that, on that note, I will just make a short announcement and change. Dr. Anita Agarwal was supposed to join in right now at around 10:30. Because of the Delhi disturbances which are there right now, she is a little delayed and will join at around 11. But we'll take this opportunity to move on, and we would request Krishna Sri Achyutan, Dean of Amrita University, to speak a few words and then let the other speakers follow her. So over to you, Krishna Sri ma'am.
Hello, good morning. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Okay. Om Bhuteshwari Namaha. Thank you very much, Joy, for inviting me over to speak a few words. I'd like to first of all welcome the President, Bangalore Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Commerce, Sri Parashuraman, Mr. Indushekar, the Chairman of the MSME Council of BCIC, Dr. Krasta, the Co-Chairman of the MSME Council, Mr. Akadas, who's the Director of the MSME DI Bangalore, of course, Mr. Prakash, a good friend from Joint Director at MSME DI Thrissur, and also Dr. Anita Agarwal will be joining us very shortly for this, you could say, inaugural launch event of Technology Enabling Center. We have been doing many things, and this is kind of the fruition of one of our first events at a large scale. This has been a kind of a dream come true for me personally to be involved with it. As being in the academia, having come from the industry and being in the academia, there was always a gap there was between the industry and the academia a very, very wide gap here, especially in India, and this is an opportunity for us to actually fill it. I remember the vivid conversations we had with DST when we were putting this, you could say, structure together, the proposal together on really the vision that the country had for what a technology enabling center should do. And it's under this larger vision that actually Joydeep, the entire team at TEC has put this set of programs together. Actually, in the 21st century, technology and science has definitely played an indisputable role in helping India address challenges related to poverty, hunger, disasters, lack of infrastructure, education, lucrative opportunities to keep our youth motivated. So innovation has always been pivotal for higher productivity and economic growth. Innovation has been instrumental in ushering in challenge and changing this landscape over the past 3 decades, bringing millions out of poverty, generating livelihood opportunities, and paving the way for a young and self-reliant nation. So the significance of innovation is even more felt as we recover from this COVID-19 crisis. It was very heartening to read in today's newspaper that as per the International Monitoring Fund, India is the only key nation set to have double-digit growth in the next 2 years, even surpassing China, the US, the UK, and Germany. So what this event and series is about is actually empowerment and knowledge transfer. Our Chancellor, Sri Mata Amritanandamayi Devi's vision is to actually bring together the key pillars of our Indian economy and the Indian foundation, which is really the educational, MSME, and industry sectors, together to create a flow that would really result in discussion and pooling of needs, linkages, resources, and mentorship, resulting in transformative innovations for our society. So our goal is to really strengthen competitive growth and create synergies between different stakeholders in the innovation ecosystem. The Amrita Technology Enabling Center at Amrita Vidyapeetham will play a crucial role in enabling this vision, along with its partners such as BCIC, the MSME development institutes in the country, technology commercialization companies, and startups such as Zista, amongst others. So with these few words, I again warmly welcome everybody to this inaugural knowledge transfer webinar series. I especially thank all the key speakers today for taking time of their busy schedules to spend some time with us. And we're very, very grateful. We really look forward to creating excellent linkages as we have done in these past few weeks. In fact, leading up to this event, we've had several meetings with each of our stakeholders, and something very, very productive has emerged as in many of these discussions that we'll see the public eye very soon. So I don't want to be able to break some of those suspenses, but we hope to see several of that really taking to fruition in the coming weeks. Thank you again. Thank you, Joydeep, for this beautiful opportunity and this beautiful event as well. I hope to see and participate in many more of these.
Thank you, Krishnashree, for your few words and very kind words and of encouragement to us. I would now request Mr. Akadas, GR Akadas, Director, MSME, TI Bangalore, to share his thoughts with us. You're on mute, sir.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm very happy to be with you all today on this occasion. It's a real good endeavor from this Amrita University to bring academy and industries together, because we have been advocating on this issue for a very long time. And we have been setting up incubation centers and centers of excellence in various educational institutes to promote innovations all over the country. Because as you all know, innovation and information both are the key to success in the modern world. So let me begin with introducing our organization. See, we are under the Ministry of MSME, Government of India, under which Development Commissioner MSME is a separate office which has field offices throughout India. And every state we have one or two main offices with some branches. Apart from this, we have specialized centers, technology centers, products and process development centers, and training centers. So in Bangalore, in Rajarajainagar Industry Estate, we are based with a branch in Mangalore. And in northern part of Karnataka is covered by our office in Hubli with a branch in Gulbarga, which is in the topmost northernmost part of Karnataka. So our roles is we play a very wide role in promoting MSMEs with lot of schemes, skill development trainings, and promotion of technology through workshops, seminars, etc. So recently we have opened a portal called Champions Portal. Many entrepreneurs know. This is an online grievance redressal portal where anyone can either give a suggestion or give a complaint online, and which will be taken up immediately within 24 hours. We will try to solve it with the concerned agency. And this portal is being monitored in Delhi directly by the secretary in MSME. So during this lockdown time, this COVID lockdown, there were a lot of complaints, and we even taken a matter with the municipal authorities, sometimes getting a pass for somebody for movements. Basic level, almost all grievances were solved. I'm glad to say it was really helpful, and slowly the grievances are coming down now. It's a very good sign. And during the breakdown, even we started establishing enterprise development centers in each MSME development institutes, wherein it's supposed to be a single point helping center for handholding activities for a new entrepreneur or an existing entrepreneur. It's a single point contact. Not only that, there are IPFCs, that is intellectual property facilitation centers, are being set up in each MSME development institutes, wherein we have enough resources and tie-ups with attorneys and even the resources available for filing patents or getting trademarks. These activities are going on now. And there is also an export facilitation center which is being opened in all MSME DIs. And this EDCs, this enterprise development centers, a project is going on with the World Bank to set up such EDCs in each district throughout the country. Around more than 700 EDCs are going to come up with proper infrastructure, so that at district level people get complete assistance. And these EDCs are going to be equipped with all conferencing facilities, then seminar halls, enough resources, so that the entrepreneur or a prospective entrepreneur need not go to capital cities or searching of information. So this is going to be implemented shortly. So there are so many schemes. I think in the coming our lectures, there can be a separate session on the various schemes like intellectual property rights, wherein we help to get up to 80% subsidies on filing national as well as international patents, trademarks. And about incubation scheme, you may be knowing incubation centers are being operated. I'm sure even in Amrita, there should be an incubator, what I feel. Similarly, Digital India scheme is being launched, where the entrepreneurs are going to get cloud infrastructure or using ERPs or design softwares and accounting, etc., at a very reasonable cost. And our flagship schemes like MSE Cluster Development Program and PMS scheme, that is called Procurement and Marketing Services, wherein any organization can apply for assistance to organize trade fairs, then seminars, workshops, etc., at the state level, national level. So there is a good amount which is being given. And finally, to counter international quality problems, the Zero Defect, Zero Effect Z scheme is getting is being launched with revised guidelines. This Z certification scheme is supposed to be more superior to any of the international standards. And recently, the government is giving a lot of stress on developing rural and agro-based micro units, not in the city areas, but tier 2 cities and village levels, so that micro agro clusters can come up in village sites. So, and Ministry of Food and Food Processing Industries, and there are some organizations like NAFED or FPO. There are very good schemes which have come up under PMFME, that is Prime Minister's Formalization of Micro Enterprises. And I feel it's a very good scheme for adoption in rural areas, where the resources, like finance or manpower is limited. These schemes are really good, and even can be set up under Spurti schemes. Spurti, as you know, that is for rural and traditional industries. Artisans can come together. This is also a very good scheme. And of course, under Atmanirbhar Bharat, we have listed around 358 items which are being imported. Very simple items. They are available in our portal. These 358, we have collected the information how much is being imported, and we want the Indian entrepreneurs to take up this for manufacture locally. So I'm giving just an example. Nuts and bolts. Annually 1,000 crore worth nuts and bolts are being imported, whereas this is a very simple item. So our officers are now making a project report as well as product profile for such items, so that it will be ready in our website for entrepreneurs to take up such issues. Even battery chargers, around 50 crores are being imported. See, these are very simple items. Similarly, there are 358 items which anybody can go through. So this is a very good initiative taken by our department. And finally, based on my experience, so entrepreneurship is a subject. I have met across many entrepreneurs in my career, and most of them come to us because there is a scheme or there is a subsidy. So what we can do? So initially we feel, of course, this is a failure, because an entrepreneur should not depend on these subsidies or schemes. Of course, if he wants to do something, let him tell his plan. Later on, these subsidies will all come. And some people, they have enough money, they want to start something. That also is not a good idea. It's better to invest money with somebody who can do something. And the third one is because the third type of entrepreneurs I have seen, people come because somebody is doing, and that is doing, he is doing very well. So I also want to set up. So that also is a failure, what I have noticed, because the marketing tactics, what he is using, or the demand will be totally different. So it's better a person who is having a real commitment to do something, or a zeal to do, and he is very confident and he has a capacity to do. And of course, the knowledge is very important. If he has enough knowledge, then he'll certainly come up. So these are my experiences for the new entrepreneurs or existing entrepreneurs to come up. So I wish this program a very success, and I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity. And we are sure from MSME DI Bangalore, we are always with the entrepreneurs, and we are always ready to help. Do come to us for any sort of help required. We'll be glad to assist you, and wish this program all the success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. And I think you hit a very important point. And I think Archish, who's the later presenter, will discuss about it. Without taking money, without taking subsidies, how can you make a success out of a business? So that's a very, very important point. Thank you, sir, very much for your kind words and your thoughts. I would now request Mr. G.S. Prakash, who is the Joint Director of MSME Thrissur, to share his thoughts on this webinar as also on MSME.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
You are.
Dr. Krishna Sri Achidan, Mr. Jaideep Nag, Sri Jia Rakadas, Director MSMEDA Bangalore, Mr. Indu Shekhar, Chairman of MSME Council, Mr. T.R. Parashuraman, President, Bangalore Chamber of Commerce Industry, Dr. Krista, Co-Chairman, MSME Council, and Mr. Madhavan, who will be the co-founder of Sista, who will be making the theme address today. This is a happy marriage of industry and institutes. In fact, we are one of the best institutes, Amrita Vishwavidyapeetham, one of the topmost university in the country, with an excellent track record. See, the most important thing about Amrita is the kind of research they undertake. Almost they got more than 100 patents in a very short span of period, and the kind of research work they undertake, for particularly the research they undertake for the society under the vision of Mata Amritanandamayi Devi Amma. So that is make a difference of the institute. So here we are having the Technology Enabling Center, which is again the scheme of the DST, Department of Science and Technology, which gives an overall scope and a scheme of things for the Amrita to take up the linkage with the innovators, industry, and other stakeholders. So this particular webinar, I hope, and maybe in the coming days also, where it's an extension of that activities of the Technology Enabling Center to understand the needs of the MSMEs industry, and also to network with the people in the industry, so that both will get benefited out of it. See, I am actually attending another program here. It's the inauguration of a common facility center of a traditional wood furniture cluster in Thrissur. In the Chovur area in Thrissur, some of you may be knowing, is known for traditional wood-based cluster furnitures. So these industries were operating for the last many years, but they were the limited scope of operations. In fact, when they were operating itself, if you go to the shop in a showroom nearby, there will be a lot of imported furniture. They are not able to take up their production to the level of that export or even the import substitution. So under the MSc Cluster Development Program of the Government of India, the government sanctioned a 14 crore CFC, Common Facility Center here, which in which 10 crore is the Government of India grant, and 2.8 crore is the Government of Kerala, and the balance around 2 crore. In fact, they spend more than 2 crore. They spend much more higher amount. It is the contribution of the special purpose vehicle, that the cluster members. There are around 40 cluster members behind this particular project. So now they are setting up a common facility center with a state-of-the-art technologies. So what is the advantage? The advantage is, earlier you are having the crude ways of making production, or you don't have a design facility, or you are not able to process your wood, the chemical processing of wood, because individual units cannot afford it. Now with this common facility, the individual members can come and take advantage of the modern facilities like CNC based machines, finger joining. See, whatever material is coming as a waste in individual units, they can take it here and they can again make it as a wooden plank with a finger joining machine. And also there's a design studio is there, wood chemical plant. See, the wood will be having many defective areas, which have a moisture content all there. So the chemical treatment will make it much more better quality wood, so that they can come up with a product. So in total, it will take the quality level, productivity level of all the units in the cluster, and they will be able to compete not only with the international players. This may enable them to go in the export market. So I'm just explaining that the kind of initiative the Government of India and Ministry of MSME is taking, to make Indian MSMEs more competitive. So this being inaugurated today by the Chief Minister of Kerala, jointly by the Chief Minister of Kerala and the Union MSME Minister, Sri Nitin Gadkari, which will be attended by the state level industries ministers and other important dignitaries. So I am sitting in the I am in the venue of that program, and also I have some role in the inaugural function, so I will not be spending much time here. With I will be just saying a few words and will be leaving this program. I thank Amrita for this particular program. As our director, Sri Akadasi mentioned, MSME ministry is implementing many schemes, and we are giving a lot of, we are disseminating, for particularly this COVID time, a lot of webinars have been organized. Even the MSMED Bangalore is also organizing a lot of webinars. MSMED Thrissur is also organizing a lot of programs, and we are trying to help as much as possible to the MSMEs. As Dr. Krishnasri has pointed out, the earlier enterprises were based on the assets or the machinery, all these things, but now it is a change, the innovation-driven enterprises. If you take this today's theme of Mr. About the SISTA, the government is also giving a lot of importance for be vocal about the local. Actually, SISTA is also doing the same thing, vocal about the local products. In fact, it is a type of a social enterprise where it's trying to promote the local and products, local entrepreneurs in a much more organized way. And the larger vision of the government of the Atmanirbhar Bharat. Atmanirbhar Bharat is not only just for it's an import substitution, but it is to make Indian MSMEs competitive and to be globally integrated to the global value chain. That is the ultimate aim of the government and the ministry. So we are all working, we have to work all that technology, because here the technical institutions, universities got a key role to play, because Indian MSMEs need a lot of technology inputs, and where these institutes like Amrita has got a key role to play. And Amrita has taken this initiative, and we are happy that Bangalore Chamber of Commerce and MSMED Bangalore is also joining in this initiative. So I wish all the success for the program. And I heard, actually I attended one of the programs of the SISTA. So it is really useful and really motivating. Kindly attend the program and you will really get benefit. With these words, I conclude. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining and taking out your time from your busy schedule. So we have, thank you very much, sir. We have with us Dr. Anita Agarwal, who has so kindly joined us despite the disturbances in Delhi. Thank you, ma'am, for joining, and a very hearty welcome to you from the Technology Enabling Center in Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, and of all of us who joined the webinar. We take this opportunity to welcome you and request you to speak a few words for the launch of this event.
Thank you very much, Dr. Joydeep and Dr. Krishnasri. And it is indeed a pleasure to interact with our vibrant technology enabling centers. And we can easily observe from DSC that all these technology enabling centers are contributing in their own ways in shaking up the ecosystem and encouraging young folks, young lads to take up technology development seriously. See, in accordance with the call by PM to make this country Atmanirbhar and to achieve self-reliance, it is very important that the focus of young generation should shift to technology. See, technology is a key word. It's a key mover. So technology can play an important role in traditional as well as modern manufacturing sectors. So just now I was listening to my previous speaker from MSME, and I would also take this opportunity to share my experience. We have just interacted with the Joint Secretary MSME, and he told us there are around 335 clusters they have identified, and as he was saying, they are inaugurating a cluster in Thrissur. So all those 335 clusters They are focusing on different traditional sectors. And we have offered to work with them. They are looking for blockchain technology solutions. They are looking for Industry 4 platform applications. So that the essence, very essence of our traditional knowledge is also conserved, as far as we increase our productivity by adopting the new methods and latest state-of-art technologies, so that we can reach out to more people. So until and unless we have a productivity scale up and the quality control, it is very difficult to take these traditional knowledge-based sectors to greater heights. So our MSME segment is playing a very important role in that. And we have already offered to work with 2 traditional clusters. One is carpet making cluster and the other one is relatively advanced coir sector. So we will be working with these 2 tool rooms for their automation and application of Industry 4 platform. So we will be looking at the hardware part, as well as we will be working on the protocols for machine-to-machine interaction. So the essence of all these exercises, we have to maintain and preserve our traditional knowledge, as well as we have to move towards the advancements and capture the state-of-art technologies which are available, and how do we apply it for our traditional knowledge sector. Although it is a challenging job, but I am confident that we will be able to achieve this, and with the support of our MSME partners, Ministry of MSME, and with the core technology institutions like Amrita University, our all Amrita University and other like engineering institutes who have excelled in the technology development area. So the idea behind creating these centers was to create a ripple or waves in the ecosystem, so that you can motivate the people who want to work in the area of technology development. So the enabler, the function of the enabler was envisaged to enable the people. So enabler could enable their own faculty members, their own students. Enabler could enable the industry to adopt the state-of-art technology, which is available elsewhere. I mean, adoption of technology is equally important as the development of technologies. Adoption and adaptation also. Okay, how do you use that technology to resolve your own issues? So all the development work that is going on, all the research and R&D in the Science and Technology Center is no longer tool-based research. So the basic problems like physics, chemistry, or mathematics, these were all tools. Now these all tools are being used collectively to solve a problem. And traditional sector is a sector which is the core strength of this country. So just now we have seen in Republic Day Parade also, all the tableaus that we have seen. So each tableau has its own essence. They are representing the culture and the strength of that state. But all these are integrated by the, you can say, knowledge, or you can say the technology, or you can say the emotions also. So somewhere like all these, throughout the country, wherever you move, so the technology has a common language. And this integration is like one aspect which really unites us. So the technology may be developed in Punjab, but it can be very well adapted and adopted for the region of, say, Tamil Nadu or any coastal region also. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. And so we want these enablers to look at those technology solutions and see how they can be taken to the your sector, which is the strength of your region. So how do you adopt those solutions? So coming to the technology sector, like the example that I have discussed, the way we will be working with MSME. So that technology, we have initially developed it for railways. So there is a rail coach factory in Rai Bareli, and we are working with Ministry of Railways. So we have developed this solution for railways. We discussed it with Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, and they said, why don't you, adapt this solution for our traditional sector. So now we are working with the traditional sector. So the core, the heart of the solution will be remain same, but we have to adopt it for the traditional sector. What kind of sensors, the physical hardware will be needed. So we have to work with the traditional sector now. So, and similarly, I can discuss many more such examples where the technology was developed for some other purpose and how that technology can be applied to the medium MSME sector and the traditional sector. And I was really very happy to see the entrepreneur for the day who is promoting the traditional sector. I visited his site and I could see it's not only the mercantile that they are selling. It's more about the knowledge base. Why and what should be the choice of the customer who wants to buy a particular article. So that is the true enabling. You are educating the customer so that he can make a choice as per their own need. And I'm sorry, I have to go for another meeting, but still I would, if the time permits, I would love to listen to the talk of the entrepreneur. And I congratulate our TEC at Amrita for bringing out such speakers and organizing such webinars. I think in the COVID time also, they have contributed to the ecosystem in their own manner. They were really contributing towards the handling the pandemic. So we were interacting regularly with Dr. Krishna Shri, and they are also helping us in creating this compendium. So which will be compilation of all the major technologies which have been developed by DST through our programs. So the next step will be how do we take these technologies forward for varied applications. See, one technology platform can have 10 different applications. So even now Department of Space has also opened up, which was like supposed to be a very committed department, and they were very possessive about their technologies. Now they have also opened up to the entrepreneurs and industries. Any industry can approach them and take their technology and work upon the spin-offs to apply it to different streams. So this is the era when we have to work with each other in a network manner and integrated fashion. And as an educational institution, so it is our responsibility to enable our students, enable the industry to improve their productivity. So the productivity is directly linked to economic gains for the country. So that if the country is prosperous and if we have a robust economy, naturally it will benefit each and every citizen who is staying in the country. So ultimately, like if we have to achieve the motto of self-reliance, so we have to play a role of enabler more than a developer. Okay, how do you integrate the solutions? How do you offer it to the actual user? So keeping that in mind, so these enablers were created and we have prohibited these enablers to do any kind of research. So it's very important to that these enablers should help the researchers to take their solutions to a conclusive end rather than doing the research themselves. So this was the idea behind creating the technology enabling centers. And the university sector was specially targeted because in university, you have all the disciplines being taught. So that is a place where the ideas, the novel ideas and can be really fertilized and can be, new solutions can be realized. So with that, I really wish all the best to the TEC Amrita Center to come up with this webinar. And I have to attend a short meeting and I'll be joining again. And I would love to listen to the speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Agarwal. I just wanted to
Thank you
take
very
this
much.
opportunity to say that Dr. Anita Agarwal is the life force behind this technology enabling center. So it's because of her and her encouragement we are. So thank you so much, madam, for joining us. And please join us for the Zista portion. You will love it. So
yeah, I will be there. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Thank
So-
you. Thank you.
So
Thank
for
you,
that,
ma'am.
I'll meet you again.
Yes.
And meet you again. And with that note, we will shift to Bangalore Chamber of Commerce, who has been not only a MOU partner, we have worked with them. And actually, you see the array of people is also because of their contribution. So we wanted to thank them for that. And we have walked hand in hand all this while with them. So with that, those thoughts, let me request Dr. Krasta to say a few words, and then Mr. Indu Shekhar, and then Sir you, the President of the Chamber, Mr. Parshuraman. So over to you, Dr. Krasner.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you, Dr. Joydeep. Because of your yesterday's reminder, I could be able to do it because I was out of the station opening the inauguration of my plant in Mohali as a packaging solution for industries around Mohali. Well, that is my industrial growth, which is Atmanirbhar Bharat is happening now. Well, today's topic is awesome because nobody listens to any entrepreneur. If a daily paper contains 4 pages for sports column, why not at least a half a page for MSM? This is because I'm also very good with the media and TV. I always tell them, अरे यार तुम 4 पेज का स्पोर्ट्स दे रहा है आपको एक आधा पेज दे दो MSME के लिए. What we today we talked about the entrepreneur's tale and its belief and the grit, guts, and gumption. Sir, it is a good topic. I think we should discuss more on this. The entrepreneur grit, guts, and gumption. So, one point. If an entrepreneur doesn't have this grit, guts, and gumption, he cannot survive. We have seen over a period of say 75 years of after independence, how many industries of MSMEs are closed. And why? Because they never had this kind of grit, guts, and gumption. Because after, especially after the LPG, liberalization, privatization, globalization in 1991 by Narasimha Rao and Manmohan Singh combination brought in this kind of openness to the global economy. And what happened? Otherwise, earlier we had only ambassador card and a Fiat card and a Lambretta scooter and a Bajaj scooter. And even the Bajaj scooter to start, you have to bend and start it. Those were the days. It's gone. Today we are liberalized. And we fought against the LPG liberalization. But today we are taking the fruit out of it. Thanks to auto and automobile sector, Parshuram is here listening to me. So these are the sectors that really developed our MSMEs. Whereas earlier MSMEs were only catering to PSUs, public sector manufacturing companies. Because there, even I still remember, even a cost of 100 rupees product, it was being charged 1,000 rupees. That was the way the MSMEs have grown. But after it opened up, they're all gone. So that kind of short-term living or short-term sustaining in power in MSME can't survive. So today is not only after liberalization, then there was a demonetization. In demonetization, we lost about 30 to 35 industries MSME. And why? Because most of the people were cash purchase, cash sales. They never used to do billing. Is a Rama Krishna Lekka, 60%, 40%. So these are the things never survived. And then after that, the GST came, and after the GST, entire scenario of MSME is changed. So these are the situations where the openness of LPG, demonetization, GST, and now it is pandemic. In pandemic era, most of MSMEs are thought about out-of-box thinking. And this out-of-box thinking has become a phenomenon today. And those who have survived doing extremely good. Our Akadas MSME director is talking about the quality. So that if there is no quality, and if they are not planned for your lean manufacturing or Six Sigma or your black belt, whatever the jargons or 5S, what is in Japanese culture it is called, all these things are, if MSME is not adopted, it cannot survive and sustain this kind of manufacturing system in MSME. So MSME per se, but it has not published. The entrepreneur tale has only remained within their mind, within their system, within their local area. When Prime Minister is talking about Atmanirbhar Bharat and local to vocal, well, we have to definitely come out with the publicity. Where probably now I'm nice to listen to the so-called #1 university, Amrita University, is come forward for MSME and this combination. So my only challenge is, if the students studied in the university or in the college or in engineering or in the MBA, if they are not directly absorbed, if they are not employable, then why do you produce such students? Why do you waste their prime age? This is what I also suggested to MSME, like how such in 1 year, please give this 1 year finishing school. Only in a 1 year finishing school, any industry, then only you should be given a degree. Probably it may change because now new NEP is come, National Education Policy 2020, and that NEP is, I'm sure, is going to transform the student. If a student of say 4 year or 5 year old student can learn about coding, imagine, instead of learning A for apple, B for banana, and Baba black sheep, instead of learning, they learning coding. That is going to come. Probably now present universities, whatever we have, if they can adopt the NEP and make the student come out directly employable in an industry, and when we say that 45% of MSME employment is from MSME, so then that kind of employment comes from where? So we directly recruit them, put them on the shop floor, train them. Why should we train a student who have been studied in a university? You train them and give us. So this is the linkage is required, academia and the industry, and that is the present trend. And when you say university, so the so-called number 50 universities in our country, why it is not there in our Indian, except Indians of Science? But even if Indian Science, if we approach for my quality or for my R&D or for my developmental activities, they say, please pay the fees. Pay me advance some money. Then only I do this work for you. Then what is the use of this kind of university? I am an industry for the last say 45 years. I want to have this development. So what I have to do, I have to spend my own money, employ this kind of people, R&D people, and do that. This is how we have developed my product. And of course, regarding the product, we have to, of course, I'll give you later on because I have given short time to 2 minutes. I think 2 minutes are fast. So the product what we manufacture is a world-class product. Nobody is manufacturing here in India, and we are given direct competition to German, Japanese, and American, and we are the only manufacturers here in India. How it is possible? My background is not engineering. My background is organic chemistry from the Mysore University. So without the engineering background, if I have developed this kind of product, it is only that grit, guts, and gumption which we have survived in Amazon. Thank you.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. Those were wonderful conclusions. Thank you, Dr. Kasta. Over to you, Mr. Indushekar.
Yep. Thank you, Joydeep. And let me thank Dr. Krasta for a wonderful, comments and completely, in sync with what Mr. Krasta has said. So before I begin, my humble pranams to the lotus feet of Mata Amrutanandamayi, the universe Amma for all of us. Okay, it's been extremely a privilege to be part of this knowledge exchange program initiated by Amrutananda University, and an Antarapurna tale of belief. That's the webinar subject today. Let me just quickly say that today, while jobs can be created more and more with the industries, it's perhaps more and more entrepreneurs that are needed for this country. Having said that, even at industries, one of the things that is always being talked about, how do we develop the entrepreneurial kind of a mindset with all the colleagues working there? So the kind of ownership or making sure the commitment levels, etc. So in that sense, I would say it's a extremely the right time with all the sound policies by the government. A lot of emphasis on Atmanirbhar, which has already been spoken by the past speakers. But I would say time has come in where India has been on the global map, including the management of the COVID, unveiling these Atmanirbhar policies and huge opportunities. The imports that is coming into this country is a very, very straight opportunity for this country. Of course, it would take a lot of analysis, etc. But I'm sure, companies like us and many more would eventually look at what all we can do this in India, how we can generate such a sound vendor base and through the MSME support, and make sure that it is not just for us, but also for the globe. So just a step back on BCIC in terms of the activities for the MSMEs. We at BCIC, we have created a very clear vision for ourselves. How do we engage with our MSMEs? We have over 120 plus MSME members with us. Very recently, we have unveiled a help desk with, I would say, industry experts who have volunteered their time to support and help the MSME fraternity. And these are coming into three specific pillars. One is the financial management and taxation, which generally is a challenge. The second one is about so many government schemes that are being rolled out by central government, state government, and many MSMEs have a challenge in trying to understand these schemes. So we would want to make sure that a good understanding of these schemes and the members taking the benefits of such schemes. Many would not even care to have a look at it, but there are some wonderful schemes which do a lot good even to their financial performance. And last but not the least, I think everybody covered it, including Dr. Krasta, the operational efficiency part of it, quality, productivity, and cost competitiveness. So these help desk, as I said, the industry experts would receive any kind of a query from our MSME members. And we have in fact made sure cascading this to other associations too. In that way, they could be of immense help in resolving these problems. So the topic, the grit, guts, and gumption, I think Dr. Krasta said it, and I would only touch back, along with everything that this country is doing. No matter whatever the situation is, this country will continue to grow. And today with our young population, almost 68% of our population less than 30. I think the spirit came up in Brisbane last week with the same spirit of the grit, the courage to demonstrate as a team. Then basically the guts, the feeling that we can beat them at their own den. And more importantly, the kind of a gumption, which is a spirited initiative. So I would just sum it up. Young India with a good, I would say, knowledgeable, coach and mentorship available all through India. Let's the MSME and the academia, let's rock together. Sai Ram, all the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's rock together.
Yep.
So thank you so much, Mr. Indusekhar. Mr. Parshuraman, your final thoughts and your kind words.
Thank you, Mr. Joydeep. Very, very good morning to all of you, ladies and gentlemen. My special thanks today to Dr. Anita Agarwal, Mr. G.R. Akadas, Mr. G.S. Prakash, Dr. Krishnashree Achudan, of course, my own good friend, Mr. Joydeep, Dr. Krasta, my colleague, Mr. Indusekhar, and Dr. Ravindran. So I'm very, very happy on this occasion because when I took over as the president of Bangalore Chambers, in fact, this COVID was a great learning point for all of us. It's a great blessing in disguise. So I could see many, many small scale industries suffering every day. And I was getting frantic phone calls. And I remember I had 7 meetings with the Honorable Industry Minister, the time in a span of 1 to 2 months. and almost on a seamless communication with the industries department, the chief secretary, the principal secretary, government of Karnataka, and the commissioner. So I realized that they needed oxygen, and definitely I thought that this should be the highest priority for Bangalore Chambers. In fact, I'm very, very happy that we started the MSME Council with veterans like Dr. Krasta and Mr. Indu Shekhar. I think two stalwarts there, and I'm very happy to say that Bangalore Chambers has got the kind of breadth and width, I would say, because we have experts in many industry, and we have association with these experts, and many OEMs are with us, which means TVS or Volvo or Toyota or Bosch. For example, we have a huge chain of cluster of tier 2 and tier 3 companies. And so I always believe that the OEM should take a very, very important role in educating and developing this MSME clusters. And of course, this MSME and the startup and entrepreneurship, they're all very, very close linked terms because they're all budding stars and they contribute in a big way to the growth of the nation. In fact, recently, I'm very happy to say that when we launched the Emerging Star Award, we never thought we would even cross 50 numbers in participation, but we got more than 200 participants. And last week we had the final ceremony, almost spanning for almost a year. See, the whole process, award is a kind of a ceremony, but I realized that human resource development, we had several discussions with the stalwarts, with the industry leaders, with several companies, and hearing to these experts exchange of ideas and a lot of new innovations that's being exhibited. I think it was a great learning for the entrepreneurs, startup companies, and many, many MSMEs. Therefore, I honestly believe that this journey, that what we are starting today, is going to be a very, very significant journey. I really thank Amrita College for this great initiative, together with BCIC and the Ministry of Science and Technology. Because today, for this Atmanirbhar, we need the small companies to prosper, to be healthy, and it is our duty to share the best practices, take them hand in hand and develop them. In fact, we had a meeting with the Honorable Finance Minister last month. I requested Sri Nirmala Sitharaman that it's very, very important that OEMs should be given that kind of wavelength to percolate this new technologies. Especially the industry minister requested me to, support in the rollout of the new technologies for the small scale industries like IoT, the big data, the nanotechnology, the artificial intelligence, machine learning, and the 3D printing. All these new technologies, there are several low-hanging fruits. In fact, I could realize there are huge opportunities for the small companies to take up. But the general mindset is that it is a very expensive thing and the small companies cannot take it up. I think that's completely wrong. And today I was very happy to listen to Mr. Prakash when he talked about the initiative he has taken in Thrissur, where the wood processing industries can have a common set of facilities and all these companies can approach. So in this sphere, I'm looking at opening a skill academy. In fact, just before this meeting, had a presentation to me by the chair of the Skill Academy Committee and the IoT Committee, Mr. Chandramouli, the former president. So he's also in the National Skill Development Committee. So I think we are looking at a very big way. In fact, I'm trying to set up a meeting with the principal scientific advisor, Sri Vijayaraghavan, in the next 1 or 2 weeks. And already I had very good discussions with the government of Karnataka, with the industry minister, and with the principal secretary. So I'm looking at this initiative so that this common facility is available for all the small companies. And definitely we can percolate this in a very big way because this nation needs that kind of human development. Unfortunately, we have a huge money unspent and we have huge resources going into the drain, but the real purpose is not getting met very often. And that's why when Dr. Krasta today talked about the NEP, the new education policy, which is very, very, very close to my heart, because we need to break the conventional syndrome of just mugging up for the examination purpose. I think what the student needs is the moral values, the true attitude, and the true knowledge which is useful to society, and the true practical skills. I think all these things, I'm very, very sure, can be realized through the new educational policy, which is a great initiative, first of its kind in this millennium, because first policy was launched in the year 1967. Then some second scheme came in 87, then with some modifications in 1990. But this new educational policy, I'm sure, is going to bridge the gap between academia and industry to a larger extent. And definitely, it's a wake-up call for both industries and academia to look at what is the need of the hour. Are we really producing the right engineers with right skill sets, right attitude? In fact, I would say attitude is the number one. If attitude is there, all other things will come automatically. So attitude, knowledge, and skill. All the three, how to drive this at an optimal level. Do we need 4 years of education for this? Do you need 3 years of education? So the new educational policy, you can come out in a phased manner with a certification in 1 year, with a diploma in 2 years, with a basic degree in 3 years, with a master's degree, something like that, the graduated approach, which is a very, very good thing. And today, definitely the small scale industries, the micro MSMEs and the small companies, how to handle them. In fact, who should take the responsibility? We have been talking about developing them for the several decades. But ladies and gentlemen, honestly speaking, the percolation has been too small. And therefore, the time has come. If you have to really realize the Atmanirbhar in true spirit, how do you handle these companies? How do you support them from our heart and in action? Therefore, the skill sets, how to drive the skill sets is very, very important. And how to take it in a long term. Therefore, it should be a sustainable program. And we should follow up these programs. And we should make it useful to the industry, to the society. And ultimately, it should be a win-win for all people. And I'm very happy that this initiative, we are going to have a series of talks by these industry stalwarts. And not just talks, I want some industrial visits. Today, because of the COVID, we have a big challenge. But nevertheless, today the simulations are very much available. The visual tour, thanks to the 3D simulation, we can showcase these industries because we are also conducting several audits internationally and nationally through these simulation programs. Therefore, not to worry, even if you are not able to visit the industries, my request to this team is, showcase some of the good innovations in terms of creativity and knowledge, and show them the factories, let them realize the good practices, and not just stop with that. I request to have some kind of a nodal centers in each district and the cluster program. I think the cluster-based program is a very good initiative. So you can make a cluster of companies in each district, and one company can be the model company in its own innovation or the best practice. In all other companies can go to this company, and we can horizontally deploy such practices. And this way we can develop them in a big way. And secondly, the OEMs can play a very important role. Each OEM can be incentivized. I have appealed to the finance minister also. And OEMs should be made responsible. And these OEMs can percolate this good practice and new technologies to the small companies. And the KPIs can be very clearly benchmarked and clearly visualized. Therefore, we should have a very clear goal at the end of the day. And ultimately, every drop of water is very important. Every resource is very important. Therefore, I request a quantifiable, visualized, significant result through these activities. And I'm sure my colleagues will take it to the next destination. Once again, I congratulate Amrita and thank for all the support. And thanks to the blessings of Amma. I think this kind of projects cannot be visualized as rightly said by my colleague Indu Shekhar. I think blessings of Amma ji is very, very important. And I'm sure her blessings will take us to the new destination. And thank you very much once again. I wish Mr. Joydeep and our BCIC team. And once again, thank Krishna Shri Achudan ji for the wonderful support, and I look forward to working with you in the days to come. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you. I take this opportunity to thank everyone who has joined this launch, all the speakers, BCIC, MSME, Dr. Anita Agarwal from Department of Science and Technology to be with us, and of course, Dr. Krishna Sri Achyutan to be with us today and launch this. So thank you, and wonderful seeing all of you. Please stay on if it's possible. It is a very exciting talk, and I would request Archish now to take over.